Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's devotion.
Good
I'll
evening.
ask Brother Sumanika to open for us with a prayer.
Amen. Heavenly Father, we're thankful for the day that you've given us. And we're thankful, Heavenly Master, that you've allowed your Spirit to dwell. Now, I plead thee, now asking for today's heaven, that you may forgive us, that you may abide in our hearts, and that you may help us to learn of you, because you are the great teacher of our wisdom. We ask in Christ's name that you be the one who is going to share the topic for today with your Holy Spirit, that we may learn from you, Heavenly God. And even for the sake of those that are watching this recording,
Amen. All right. Is there perhaps somebody with a special item or a special song before Brother comes takes us through? All right. Today we are on chapter 32, titled "The Child." And Brother comes, you may go ahead.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I hope you're having a blessed day.
Yes.
I hope the sound in the background is not disturbing anyone. Can you hear my sound? Because my house is full of noise currently.
We can hear it, but it's okay.
Okay. So we're at chapter 32, speaking about the child. Last night we looked at chapter 31, and we saw how a parent must take care of themselves as they are in the parenthood industry or ministry. Now today we're gonna see how do we take of the child, irrespective where the mother was told in the instruction of Samson how she has to you know to take care of a body before conceiving Samson. Also the training of the mother is very important in the Hebrew culture. Now from infinity he was to be trained the habit of strict temperance. Now temperance is all about self-control, as we saw as we're going through. Is all about controlling yourself, your desires, and your willingness, fighting against it and giving it all to God. So a parent was supposed to train the kid in a strict, I want to say a strict diet or a strict living. As she is laboring for the Lord. We know as parents we are and mothers and parents are setting this world to be a small God for their kids. So everything they are responsible in their hands. I see that a similar story was given to the John the Baptist when he was born. Now, when the angel came to Elizabeth, instructed not to drink strong wine, and if she abides in that rule, she will be filled with the Holy Spirit. So that was the mission. Now it says that so important was right physical training and preparation for the work that high angels in heaven was sent with a message to instruct the parents of the child. So Elizabeth was instructed because these John Baptist had the mission to fulfill, as the mission to take care of. We know he prepared the path for Christ before coming to deliver his free and half mission journey to save the world. So Elizabeth to train the kid so proper that he must abide by the law of nature and the principle. And angels were looking at, were instructing Elizabeth. And it says that every influence that affects the health of the body as it is brings upon the mind. No, it says every influence that affects the health of the body as it's bearing upon the mind and the character. So whatever the kid consume while she or whatever the body consume, no, it will have a mental. Our brain is affected, our character is also affected. There are certain foods what you eat, it affects your brain. No, the more the body is not healthy, the more it affects the brain or character building. It says too much importance cannot be placed upon the healthy training of the child. The lesson learned The habit formed and during the years of infants, infants and childhood have more to do with the formation of the character and the direction of the life than have all the instruction to train after years. Parents need to consider this. They should understand the principle that underlie the care and the training of children. They should be capable of re, rearing them in physical, mental, and moral health. Parents should study the law of nature. They should become acquired with the organism of the human body. They need to understand the function of the various organs, their relation to dependence, and they should study the relation of the mental to the physical power, to the condition required for the healthy action of each. I like the last line says that they as to assume that the responsibility of parenthood without such preparation is a sin. Just imagine what so it's saying. No, if you assume you know this and you don't do it, no, and you are caught off guard when you have a kid, it becomes what? A sin. So it's very important to take care, to know this responsibility that parents have, they know to know, you must understand the earlier care and training of a child. They must know all of this. They must not assume. If they assume that, it becomes a sin. The physical, the mental, the moral health of the kid. And they should study the nature, the law of nature. The law of nature, as we've been studying from the previous chapter, is to keep all the laws, about our health that God gave us, know the national remedies, how to take care of the kid, everything, all these. If you assume you know you don't do them, it becomes what? It becomes a sin, as we wrote, as we written this paragraph. Now we are looking on the care of the infant or the care of the baby. It says babies require warm, but serious error is often committed in keeping them in overheated rooms, deprived to a great degree of fresh air. The practice of covering their infant face while sleeping is harmful since it prevents free respiration. So this is clear as we see that as babies sleep, but some parents like to cover them, fold the blankets to keep the warm, but the face is always important to leave it so the kid gets fresh air. In the preparation of the baby's wardrobe, convenience and comfort and health should be sought before fashion or the desire to execute aberration. The mother should not spend time in embroidery and fence work to make the little garments beautiful, thus taxing herself with unnecessary labor at the expense of her own health and health of a child. She should bound over swearing that severely taxes eyes and nerves at a time when she needs much rest and pleasant exercise. She should realize the obligation she has and strength. So she must not waste her time about no. They like making wardrobes beautiful, buying a lot of expensive, try to be correct, but their own health is in danger. So they must always, they say health is a priority than other stuff. So they must always take health into consideration, not try to put luxury things into baby's wardrobe. And because we know after years, those things vanish and you remain. So it's better to have the health of the baby and your own health and instead of decorating things. Continue saying that the tide bounds and weighs under the action of a heart. Now, in this paragraph, we see that babies must not be, clothed with the tight clothes because it has an effect on the organs, It restricts the freedom of movement in them. The clothes of all children should be loose enough to admit of the freest and fullest respiration, and so arranged that shoulders will support its weight. So we must make sure that they clothes must be loose, not those tight stuff, that it prevents the circulation even of the blood of the kid if we do that. In some countries, the custom of leaving bare the shoulders and the limbs of little children still prevails. This custom cannot be easily condemned. The limbs being removed from the center of circulation demands great protection than the other parts of the body. The arteries, the curves of the blood of the extreme larger, providing for a sufficient quantity of blood to afford warmth and nutrition. But when the limbs are left unprotected or are insufficient clad, the arteries and veins become contracted in the sensitive portion of the body, child, and the circulation of the blood is hindered. I think those who did science, I ended doing my science in I think grade 10, somewhere there. I tried, but I could not do science. And I did something that is called basic, but it's not science. But those who are in the medical field, who are in the science field, you can see that, he's speaking about the limbs left open and other stuff, and the shoulders of the babies. If these things are not properly covered, these provides what will bring disease to the babies. So we parents must take this care. The likes of Star Martha, mothers to be, and Star Leilani. I think this is a message to you people, because you are the ones who really know when the baby is born. Mothers are always the ones attracted. They want to usually decorate the baby to look attractive to the nation. But I think the health of these infinite babies must be taken care so much that their health is a priority later than making them shine for the world, but their health are in risk. Says is the child's diet. I think here's one of the biggest problems that we face in African culture, also in other culture, that usually proper food is not given to babies. We know that when babies are not given proper food, I think the disease is what do you call it? Where baby doesn't have enough milk before birth. I think the bones don't become strong, and they have the disease called the start with a name. Rich. What do you call again the disease? Those who know, the one that the baby, the bones are not strong enough, then it becomes bent. What is it, Martha? What's that?
Rickettsia.
Rickettsia, something like that. That's why I do science because of those terms. So you can see that the baby becomes a problem to them, and you can see that if not proper food is given to them, that also affect their mental capacity. There's a quotation that we read food as we go. It says that the best food for the infant is the food that nature provides. Nature, one of the best food for them when they're baby is the milk from the mother. Sorry for the noise in the background. When families meet, there's always a problem. So you can see that when kids are prevented from this milk, from the mother's milk, from the nature that provides, from the early age, they must have this milk. And most of the mother, they denounce that they after 3 months they take the babies off. Just hold on a bit. Okay, sorry. So we're at the point I say that there's a part where we say when they are not given enough milk, that they become unhealthy, and their mental capacity of thinking and reasoning also becomes a problem. The mother who permits a child to be nourished by others, look this part, the mother who permits a child to be nourished by others should consider well what the result may be. To a great or less degree, the nurse impacts her own temper and temperament of the nursing child. Most of the kids that don't grow up with their own parents, who are nursed by, let me say, kindergartens where kids are kept. Usually, their character they inherited is from the nurses, not from the mother. They lose the connection they bound from them. Little ones need to learn that they eat to live, not live to eat. No, most of them we feed our kids a lot of food and not teaching them the principle of health. They must be taught from early age. The training should begin with the infant at his mother's arm, and most of this part is neglected, because most of them they grew up from their nannies. Most of them are sent to the grannies in the early age, and they lose that connection with their parents. And the grannies give them their traditional food, not traditional food, but the food that they think is proper, because everyone grew up in that system. And most of the food that they eat is not healthy, as we know. Or it's not about health. Maybe they consume the same, let me say, protein every day. It's pap. Rice only comes once a week, But you as a mother, if you have your kid, you're able to balance a diet. Not a lot of protein and carbohydrate just the whole week. Pap, and green leaves. But when it's in your own arms, and you have the means, you can change the proteins and the vitamins that go in the child's body. It says it should not be given. It should not be given sweets or the food of older person. That's when the baby, and that is most of our problem. We give them chocolate, give them what is this? sweet. Some even of them give still the children beer. That's why when they grow up, they become drunkards. You gave that character to your baby, not from someone. Then you start complaining. No, my kid, no, it's from you. It's the food of all that person, which is unable to digest. No, I think that one is by nature. We know we can't give a pap to 1 year kid or 3 months kid. That is not reasonable. Care and regularity in the feeding of the infant will not only promote health, does tend to make them quite sweet tempered, but will lay a foundation of habit that will be blessing in the after years. When they from early age they know they know temperance and know a proper diet. When they grow up, it's not a problem, no. But when this foundation is neglected, it becomes a problem. Says that often they are permitted to eat what they choose and when they choose without reference to health. I think that's also one of our problems. We give them whatever they want, no, because they are crying. Just give them. They are, then you say no, they are young. They don't know yet. They will learn, and we just feed. When we realize later, the damage already been done. So this where I like them. We must really take care of it. We must teach them not. We must not only give them whatever they want without referring to health. When you denounce them and you teach them what to do. Parents should train the habits of their children. Should not permit the use of wholesome food. We know wholesome food is not healthy, but what can we do? This became the norm of this new century, where wholesome food became the shortcut of cooking. We go for fast food. We go for things that are not healthy, and because we don't have time to prepare proper meal, we go for some food. Children have the right. They have look this line. Children have the right. They have preference. When these preferences are reasonable, they should be respected. No, sometimes not because they are. Not everyone will want what food you want, but sometimes if their preference is reasonable, you must give them what they want. You must not denounce them from what they want to eat. But that what they want to eat must be reasonable. Says regularity in eating should be carefully observed, not only in babies, even in us that we are studying as seniors. We must not regulate food. If we can't do this, it will be too difficult to implement this to our own kids. It says nothing should be eaten between meals. No convention. These ways are also becoming different. Conventionally, yeah, nuts, fruits, or food of any kind. So nothing must be in between. I think this is the principle that we carry until we get old. But if we can't implement this, how are we able to implement to the small ones? His mothers who gratify the desire of their children at the expense of their health and happy temper are sowing seeds of evil that will spring up and bear fruits. Whatever you plant in the baby right now, it will come out when they get old. Don't be surprised. That is the demon that you created yourself. It will just be manifesting when they're getting old. It says that the mother who do this, it says the mother who do this works, reaps with bitterness the seed they have sown. They see their children grow up unfit in mind and character to act at a noble and useful part of society and in their home. Look this part. It says mother who do this reap with bitterness and the seed they have sown. They see their children grow up infitted in the mind, no, not able. Then you say no, the mind, the person can't reason in small things. The character to act a noble and useful part in society and in the home. They can't reason small problems. They cannot. In society, they aren't fit because whatever you give them destroy their capacity of thinking. Instead of feeding them proper meal for certain years that are required and give them healthy food, you went the shortcut and you thought you were smarter than the system. The system caught you when the kid grew up. Because the book says that you are reaping what you have sown. So let us be careful on this part because look, just imagine your kid can't reason when they grow up in society. Their character says the character to act a noble and useful part in society and in the home. They cannot. Whatever comes, they can't reason. Not because people say the kids. No one is born stupid. We make them to become stupid in society. Or we make them to become people who can't think, who can reason because of the food that they took while they're young. This is very important. We must, I think, take a knowledge of that because this is what affects them. Then they can't reason. kid only fails from grade 1 to grade 10. You are there, what happened? No, whatever you feed them also has an effect in their brain. Since while the student should be taught to control their appetite and to eat with reference to health, let it be made plain that they are denying themselves only that which should be done to them harm. We must not tell them not to eat, but we must teach them why not to eat. Most of us tell the just prevent people for even when you get older. No, don't eat meat, but why must people not eat meat? Don't drink alcohol. Why must people always answer the why question? Don't leave them just in the air. When they after you leave, if you leave them in the air, it will be very difficult for them to come back. So let us always answer the question, why must they not do that? Why it must be, the question must be answered. They give up useful things for something better. Let the table be made inviting and attractive as it is supplied with the good things which God has so bountifully bestowed. So let us always, if you prevent them from eating something, please let the table be attractive matter. Let the tables be proper. When we come and sit, we are properly coming to eat a meal. Not you prevent kids from eating good food. Then when they come to your table, they start cursing you in their hearts. I think our house is not proper. There's no good food. They say, admiring people's house food. Let our meals be properly prepared. When the kids will tell them this is healthy food, they eat with joy and happiness because the food is inviting. No, most of us, whatever we preach must be attractive. If we say this is the health message, people must understand. I long to be part of this health reform message, but most of our meals are not attractive at the table. That's why people don't want to be health reformers, because what they see to lose what they have and gain what you are eating is the value is very low. But this must be attractive, properly prepared. Meal must be attractive. Proper food must be around. No, people must see. No, this is really a meal that I'm taking. Even if a child sees that, the child will desire to follow this meal. Almost done says the care of the children in sickness. Let parents study and find the cause of sickness and then remedy the wrong condition as soon as possible. So if you know the source, you can find the cure. But most of us, we like going for the cure without knowing the source where the disease comes from. That's the biggest problem. So parents must have that skill of able to, well, I can say, identify disease and know the cause. When you know the cause, because not proper food and other stuff, and when we're able to go for the cure, when next time we prevent, preventing is better than the cure. So if you learn the first time, it's fine. But if you learn the second, if you fall on the second mistake, it becomes a problem. So whatever disease a child gets, a parent must always know the cure, and next time try to improve from there. He says that all parents have it in their power to learn much considering the care and prevention and even treatment of diseases. So parents must always have that basic training. I think artists must come with that program as family departments or other departments or small groups where people are trained about simple basic, like the first aid basic must be trained in small, how can I say, small courses must be given on preventing of diseases. I think that would be make us better equipped. Not a small headache already running to the hospital, but there could be a way that at home you could solve those problems. Yes, they say the study of theology. That's the theology. I think that's the how you pronounce it. Now, this is the study of the body, know how diseases. I think if I'm correct, you might correct me. We are not in the field of science, but these terms doesn't make us, to run away from them. We must also know them. Now, the study of is the study of how the human body works. It describes the chemistry and let me say the physics behind basic body function, from how muscles behave and cells in the system of the body and the organs and other stuff. So we must have that basic understanding, how these things operate, how your lungs and things, this information can be found you just Google, you find, you just what this, you just YouTube, you find this information. There are free courses in the internet that just there. Most of us neglect those small things. When a small thing is attacking a small disease, We don't know even now if maybe the organ is trying to clean itself or the organ is reacting certain way because you ate certain food. So when we know that certain food will affect the organ, we'll be able to prevent those from eating that. And when we know how the body operates, how they function, how from the brain to the toe, or from the lungs to the stomach, the large intestine, no, those small basic organs that are in, I think, are in the body, we must have those understanding. When you have those understanding, when diseases come, it is very easier to fight it because of the basic understanding. Says teach them how the best prevent of the physical, mental, spiritual power and how to use their gifts so that their lives may bring blessing to others and honor God. When we teach our kids or our small ones the principle of health, I'm telling you, what we reap in the future, God will be honored. No, the physical, no, it's very bad. You preaching a gospel when they say to you, look weak. No, people say no, I'm spiritually strong, but when they, yeah, but I don't care about my physics, but spiritually I'm fine. Spiritually and physically, you must go hand in hand. You must be physically and spiritually fit for this gospel to be able to say for the Lord. Samson was physical and spiritually, no. Christ even was physical and spiritual. It was not only spiritual, also the physical of Christ was, people could see it. This man is physical. And even other disciples, they were physical and spiritual because these things work hand in hand. Because if you are not physically strong, you are not able to serve for the Lord. Very fine. Every time you're in the hospital, prayer begins to go and pray for you because of you are neglecting proper health, diet to be followed. Says that parents should live more for their children and less for society. Most parents want to impress society by nourishing their kids with expensive stuff that damage their health. Study health subject and put your knowledge to a practical use. Teach your children to reason from the cause to effect. Teach them that if they desire health and happiness, they must obey the law of nature. Though you may not see a rapid improvement as you desire, but be not discouraged, but patiently and no, as we are working, you must not don't be discouraged as they are continuing. In future, you will see the physical of it, the benefit of it, of them following this health principle. Says that teach them that heal to temptation is weak. Says teach them that to heal to temptation is weak and wicked. To resist noble and merely. This lesson will be a seed sown in good soil, and they will bear fruits that will make your heart glad. It's very good when a parent sees their kids in future, how physical and strong they are because of what you gave them. My last quotation, I think, to be this one. It says, a home where love dwells and where it is expressed in looks, in words, and in acts is a place where angels delight. Just imagine, delight to manifest their presence. Let me repeat the quotation. A home where love dwells and where it is expressed in looks. Somehow you don't see them in looks, in words, in acts, is a place where angels delight to manifest their presence. I think I came to the end of my sharing for tonight, how to care for a child. Any comment as we have our 10 minutes to discuss and comment.
Thank you so much, Brother Combs. Evening, Sister Lanani. We may now give our comments.
Evening.
Any comments from anyone? Okay. I would just like to add something. Just to emphasize on the importance of caring for infants. Just to have a quick recap on what we studied yesterday, and where I mentioned that it is also quite important that before a child is born, or even before the mother becomes pregnant, they should already have intentionally prepared for the baby. And now here we are told that the more quiet and simple the life of a child, the more favorable it will be to both physical and mental development. And at all times, the mother should endeavor to be quiet, calm, and self-possessed. Now, you get in houses where the mother is very loud, and you see this in itself has a type of influence on the way the child grows up. And here we're also advised then that it's always good for a baby to be in a quiet environment. And not only the mother, but like let's say there's this younger, older siblings in the house. It's not quite advisable for you to be like playing loud, even if the baby is awake, to be playing loud music around the baby, because this heartbeats also have an influence on the mental development of the baby. Just a scenario that we were discussing today at work, there was a mother that I don't want to use the word reckless per se, but this child, okay, and unfortunately the baby died, I think after 6 days. But what happened was the mother did not notice that the baby cannot defecate, all right? And yeah, so what happened was, because the baby could not defecate, he was born with an incomplete alimentary canal, if I may put it that way, or incomplete digestive system in that, yeah. So now what happened was, I'm trying to use really, really polite English. So what happened was the feces kept accumulating in the baby's body, and after 6 days, that's when, yeah, I believe that's when the baby died, and that's when the autopsy was done to say that no, the baby could not defecate, and the mother did not pick these things up. And that's just my problem to say that, why are we having kids as young people if we do not know how to take care of them? I mean, you're supposed to know that, hey, listen, already on the first day, you're supposed to know that your baby should cry, or your baby should be able to urinate and defecate. But this mother refused to pick these things up. And it's just an encouragement then to us to say that we really need to be intentional in what we do, and in planning to have families in the future. And we should know how to take care of babies. We should know how to, raise them up in a manner that's healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially as well.
Amen.
I'm also having a comment. It's a short one. There's a statement which says that the practice of covering the infant's face while sleeping is harmful since it prevents free respiration. Okay, I've never seen this actually. When a mother is covering the face of a baby, but most of the time I just noticed it. People were already old. People were adult already. Let's say if they want to cover themselves because let's say it's very cold, as an example, they will cover themselves up. They will even cover their faces. So actually, this practice is not good. It's not healthy because you won't be able to breathe. So we should really avoid to do that. Yeah, that's my comment.
Thank you. Is there any other?
I also have a comment. I don't know if I'm audible.
Yes,
Yes,
you're audible.
Well, my network is usually congested. I just heard that, okay, before the mother has a child, I heard that it's healthy for a mother to exercise. I'm not sure. Okay, I didn't really do much research about when she should start exercising, because there's a time where she starts exercising and she can actually have a miscarriage. But I think that's up to us to do the research. But it's actually healthy, maybe for maybe if you know a pregnant mother or any other mother out there. But it's healthy actually for a mom to exercise and all that.
I think usually they take a long walk, a bit distance, not like running, because I think that becomes a problem. But usually what I see from a distance, that they usually like taking a long distance, they walk around, maybe the early morning they take a walk, or early in the afternoon. I think that becomes healthier for them. Because I know we just hear from stories that when they go there in the delivery room, in the industry, to give us the good light, might as well are told to roll around and walk up and down, do bit of squats and jump up, just to for the process to be more smoother. I think most of those things can be prevented when they do it from home, walking up and down a bit, at the location, going to nature, sitting, walking a bit long distance. I think that becomes healthier also for them.
All right. Yeah, we've got less than a minute left, or about a minute left. Maybe Brother Comes, you can just close for us with a prayer if there isn't other additions.
Okay, sorry. I'm just scared, sorry, because I'm the one who brought up this issue of exercising while pregnant. I think maybe if we are to tell someone to exercise while they're pregnant, I think we should actually do a research first. How many weeks? I mean, the pregnancy. How old is the pregnancy? Um, like the research, like, cause I heard when you start exercising, maybe the early pregnancy, when your pregnancy is early, like maybe 2 weeks or something, maybe you're likely to miscarry and lose the baby. So if we are to tell someone who is pregnant that you have to exercise, I think we have to find out first the right information, and yeah, how many weeks old is the pregnancy, and are you supposed to exercise and all that, just to avoid them losing their baby. Yep.
Yeah. And
Maybe
I
that we
think
must work on that.
it's also about, like, it's not just any random exercise, but there are also certain exercises that help you actually, because even before you give birth, the doctor advises you to exercise in a certain way to make it easier for you to push and stuff like that. So I think it all depends on the type of exercise that is being referred to here. All right. I think we'll be keeping